So to summarize this whole video, we have checked cursor and anti-gravity on three main parameters. So that is more than enough to understand the current state. Hi. So let's see if we all can cancel our subscriptions of cursor by using anti-gravity. So in this video, we will see whether anti-gravity is as good as cursor, and if it does, then I have promised everyone in my community that I will cancel my cursor subscription. Why not save $20 if we can? So what we will do is we will implement an actual feature, or we will try to fix something in both of these so that we can understand how both of these work. So as far as concerned for the cursor, I know a lot of things about it. So I do know that it is currently one of the best AI based IDE. Tried windsurf as well, but so far cursor has been the on top of all of that. But we will try this anti-gravity, and to be honest, if anti-gravity is at least 80% as effective as cursor, then I will going to cancel my subscription plan. So okay, so first let's talk about the interfaces. So both the interfaces are quite similar. I don't think so there is any difference in these, and also because both of cursor and anti-gravity are the folks of original VS Code, so the interfaces are most likely same, and they will be same as much as I know. And just one thing that I like about anti-gravity thing, that is that these cute little icons. So after that, let's check the commands. So here, if I have to create a new chat in cursor, then I do command plus N, so it open up a new chat for me. Also, if I have to move to my editor, then I do command and 1. So I press it command and 1, and it redirect me to my editor from cursor. And if I have to go back to cursor, then I do command plus L, so I'm back to my cursor. Also, if I have to switch to from agent to ask mode or plan mode, then I do command plus this greater than sign, so I am switched to plan. Then if I do it again, then I will be switched to ask mode. So if I have to ask something, it will not implement anything. And if I have to again switch to agent mode, then I will do command plus greater than sign. So that's how we do in cursor. Now let's see in anti-gravity. Also, before making this video, I have not tried anti-gravity, so I am completely new in this. Okay, so command L is working here as well. So basically, if I do command plus 1, so I'm in the editor, and if I do command plus L, then I'm in the cursor itself. Okay, let's check for the new chat. So in this, what we can do is we can say make a detailed architecture code base. So here we can click on OK, and it will generate the architecture. In the meanwhile, we can create a new chat. So let's go back to this cursor. I'm in cursor, and if I do command plus N, then it's not creating a new chat. So probably I don't know the shortcut. So there is the shortcut, that is command plus shift, I guess, and plus L. So command shift and L. Okay, so here is the new chat that we can use. So let's go back to our original task that we have given. So it is still creating, and so these were the navigation thing, like the basic navigation how we do in cursor and anti-gravity. So for me, both the things are same, just we have a different shortcut command for the anti-gravity. So now let's check the modes. Basically, in the IDEs, we have different kind of modes, that is agent mode, plan mode, and ask mode in cursor. And in anti-gravity, we have planning mode and fast mode. So agent will execute task directly, and in planning mode, agent can plan before executing the task. So in cursor, we have 3 modes, and while in anti-gravity, we have 2 modes. So to be honest, I don't use planning of cursor too much. I mostly use ask mode, and I ask things like how it can be implemented, what can be the root cause of something important or some sort of bug, and then I use IDE to fix it. Sometimes I do use plan mode, I mostly use whenever the feature is comparatively big that cannot be asked to cursor. So in that case, I use a plan mode so that I have a detailed steps to follow and implement something. So similar thing is there. We have planning mode that is provided by anti-gravity, and we will be able to now we will see how the planning mode and the agent mode work in both of these. So first of all, we had asked anti-gravity to create an architecture of our code base so that we can understand. So let's it has done creating that architecture.md file. So let's open it up see if we can understand the architecture. Okay, so here is the README file. So here is the overview. This project is a monorepo managed by Turbo Repo and PNPM. That is correct. It follows a standard structure with application in apps and shared libraries and packages. That is absolutely correct. So here is the architecture. We have apps. Then inside apps, we have API, backend, docs, web. So basically, this backend thing is deprecated. So it was in 1.0 version in the MVP. So currently we using API, that is backend API service. And so here is there are a couple of problems I'm able to see in this code base. So we will like let me just read it first and then we will see the problems. Okay, in the meanwhile, let me also give the same prompt to cursor so that we can compare the difference. So till in the meanwhile, it is creating, cursor is creating an architecture for us. We will read the architecture of anti-gravity provided by anti-gravity, and then after we do this, after reading it, we will compare both the architectures and we will see which one is more accurate. So we have API, backend docs, and web. So this is kind of correct, and there are some problems I will tell you when we will compare. So then we have packages. So here we have shared ESLint configurations, and we have shared folder. There we have our shared utilities and types mostly. So here we have apps web that contains the whole front end of OpenSox. So we are using Next.js 15. Main language is TypeScript, and then for styling we are using Tailwind CSS and Tailwind Animate. So most of this is correct, and also we are using TRPC, Just and Redux, Lucid React, Framer Motion as well. And yeah, so that is most of the things are correct, like how we can do it. Also, one more thing, it you can see here, it is very the architecture is very simple. It has not included anything like that workflow or like any diagram in, but in the other case of cursor always do it, as much as I know. So that may be one plus point for cursor and one negative point for anti-gravity. So here we have API service, and we are using Express.js. Language is TypeScript, and API using TRPC server, Express routes. So that is correct too. And for payment, we are using Razorpay, Zapto Mail, OctoKit, and etc. So that is correct as well. For documentation, to be honest, I don't give much attention to this docs thing. OpenSox do have documentation, but it is not maintained in a separate app. It is inside. It is in the actual front end and back end apps. So I don't maintain a separate app just for the sake of docs. It is important, but to be honest, currently I don't have the bandwidth to do so. So here is the backend logic, contains core backend logic, and so we have middlewares, models, routes, services, test, and utils. So one more thing, I have organized OpenSox backend code base into some separate folders, and I have named them properly. So, but the anti-gravity has not mentioned any of that thing. So if I have to show you, then you can see here is our API folder, and in API, if I click on it, you can see, let's go to SRC. So you can see here, I have organized everything in these folders. So the services contains basically the core business logic. Then we do have a scripts. Then we have schemas, and then we have routers. And after that, we have procedures and middlewares. So everything and every code base in in OpenSox is basically organized in these folders. So I was expecting that probably anti-gravity will write down the name of the folder and then it will explain why we have this folder. So, but it doesn't, it didn't. So that's another negative point for anti-gravity. And it is sharing the UI library, utilities, configurations, key technologies, and that's it. So that was all of this architecture. So key technologies are MongoDB. And so it basically read the package.json, and that's how it mostly came up with this technologies part and development workflow. So let's move to our cursor that is still still kind of writing down this readme file. Okay, so after anti-gravity, cursor has also created an architecture of this code base for us. So here we can look into it. So first of all, the first impression is way better than anti-gravity, and because the file itself is huge comparing to what we have in anti-gravity. So anti-gravity is created a very small, simple file of this architecture. In the other hand, Cursor has created a big file. So, and that is going to contain everything that we missed in anti-gravity architecture. So here let's see. First of all, there is a list of what is going to covered in this architecture. So that is one of the plus point for Cursor. We have overview, monorepo structure, application architecture, tech stack, data flow, and that is the best thing. This fifth point, that is a data flow, is the best thing that I love in a particular IDE whenever they describe uh, an architecture of something, of some code. We have security architecture. So basically, it will show you what kind of security implementations you have in your database. Then we have a design system, that is a high level design. And after that, we have a state management in front end. So that is really cool. After that, we have API architecture, database schema, deployment architecture, and development workflow. So from here itself, you are able to understand whether that was good or created by anti-gravity, or this one that is created by Cursor is better. So we still let's see. So here is the overview given by Cursor. So open source AI is full stack platform and designed to help developers discover open source projects. And after that, we have monorepo architecture. So we had the same by anti-gravity here. So now here you can see there is backend API. So that was, I guess, a mistake of anti-gravity. We are not using only Express.js. We are using Express plus TRPC. We are using Express for the server, and everything else is handled by TRPC. So TRPC have much bigger part in the backend. So that is why it is mentioning TRPC plus Express. On the other hand, in anti-gravity, we had only Express.js. So that was one of the mistake in anti-gravity. So minus point. Okay. So after that, we have backend. So here you can see anti-gravity didn't mention, was not able to recognize whether this backend was deprecated or not. Also, it was not able to differentiate which one is new. So on the other hand, Cursor is able to know that this backend, that is this is a legacy backend, so we don't use it anymore. And after that, we have the stocks and web for the documentation and web. So here Cursor has a plus point, obviously, because Cursor know a lot comparing to anti-gravity. Obviously, we will have to consider the fact that Cursor has comparatively more context of my code base than anti-gravity. So probably that's why it was not able to come up with such a detailed architecture. So let's move ahead and see the high level architecture. So that is the best thing about Cursor, and I was not able to see this thing in Windsurf as well. Because Cursor is able to, because Cursor has the most context of your code base, it is able to make a detailed high level architecture, and that is really cool if you want to understand an open source code base. So we have client layer, API layer, service layer, then data layer. So, and this way you will be able to map out things component by component. So, and after that, we have a front end architecture, directory structure. So here the directory structure is way more better than this anti-gravity architecture. So after that, we have a backend architecture, and here you can see it has clearly mentioned everything each folder do. So I pointed out this thing in anti-gravity part, that I wanted it to point out what each folder contained. And here you can see it has clearly explained everything. In routers, we have TRPC routers, and here is the root router, authentication routes, user management route, payment route, etc. And also similar to this router thing, we have services. So services basically contain a business logic layer. So I wanted this thing in anti-gravity, but it failed to do so. And we have middleware, so that is express middleware, IP blocking, and we have utilities, and after that clients and constants, etc. So the way and the depth we can achieve from cursor is way greater than of anti-gravity so far. And here you can see the technologies that we are using and infrastructure tools. Here is the authentication flow, user click on sign in, Next.js, redirect, etc. And after that, we have payment flow as well. And here we have project query flow, then security architecture. So what kind of security we have in this project? And we have also, there is a one more thing I implemented very recently, that was design consistency using this design tokens. So it is mentioning here that we do follow a particular design token file to manage the UI of whole project. And after that, we have state management, and let's move ahead, external integrations and all of that. So, if we talk about the architecture, and if we have to give 1 and 0 points in this case, then obviously cursor is +1 and anti-gravity is 0, comparing to like in the POV of understanding a code base, or understanding a depth of a particular code base. Okay, so here is the moment of truth. We are going to implement or fix a small feature using both anti-gravity and cursor, and we will see which one is able to create a better solution. So here is a bug in OpenSox. So I have raised an issue for it. So let me just open it up, and it's a small one, so it will not take much of the time. So the issue is basically the pro users aren't able to see their plan. So on OpenSox, what we have currently, I'm my user ID is this Ajeet Pratap 517 at gmail.com. So I'm on a paid plan. So if I go to account settings, and if I go to this this plan thing, then I will be able to see this active. But sometimes I'm not able to see this plan. So basically, I get converted from a paid user to a free user. So in that case, I am not able to access this newsletter thing, and also this dashboard thing. So that is a sort of bug that I'm facing for the for the last week, last week. So let me just copy this thing, copy this issue, and let me go to cursor, open a new chat, and here I will paste this thing, and I will switch to the plan mode. So it doesn't generate anything, but it will create a plan for us, so that we will be able to understand what is the reason of this issue and how we can fix it. Similarly, we will open the new chat for in this anti-gravity, and we will let me open a new chat here. Okay, we will paste it, and we are in planning mode already. So we need to add one more thing, make a plan for this. Similarly, we can add this thing in anti-gravity. So here we can, okay. So now we will hit enter, and here as well we will hit okay. So now both of the cursor and anti-gravity will start making our plan for us to understand the issue that we are facing, and it will then we will try to fix it, and we will compare the plan, that which one is better and which one is comparatively correct. So and then we will fix the better one. Okay, so now you can see cursor is done creating our plan. So here is the plan, let me just show you. And here's the plan, and anti-gravity is still working. So it is not able to create a plan so far, given the fact that I have waited almost 20 minutes. So In the meanwhile, let's see the plan of Cursor. The problem is when a user upgrades to the Pro plan, their subscription status doesn't immediately reflect in the UI. The subscription status query has 5-minute stale time, so it won't refresh automatically. After payment verification, the query cache is not invalidated. User must log out, login to see their Pro status, which forces a fresh query. So that is basically the problem that we have this stale time set to 5 minutes. So it will not refetch automatically. So the solution for it Cursor has created is invalidate the subscription status query cache immediately after a successful payment verification and expose a refetch mechanism for manual updates. Here is also the implementation plan, and here are the files that we have to modify. Okay, no problem. So here you can see there is anti-gravity has failed to create a response on this particular prompt. You can prompt the model by try again. So let's, how can we try again? Okay, so it has created a plan, I guess. No. So basically it was analyzing something and it is ended up creating an error. Okay, so let's move ahead with Cursor's plan. So here we have testing considerations and here are the to-dos. So the first to-do is expose a refetch function for use subscription hook to allow manual subscription status refresh. As much as I know, this plan is mostly true, even though it was not able to understand like the 100% of the issue. Issue is not immediately after the user subscribe to the Pro plan, but the issue is after some time. So even though the it is not able to understand the issue, I would say 100%, but still it came up with a solution that will work in 90% of the scenario. So we have to basically there is a cache. So that cache is not getting invalidated like just after the payment. So that is why most probably the issue is basically occurring. We will not go into the technicals here, but we here we are only for the comparison in anti-gravity and Cursor. So here Cursor has a plus point and anti-gravity has a minus point. So to summarize this whole video, we have checked Cursor and anti-gravity on three main parameters. First one was interface, second one was understanding, and the third one is implementation. So if we have to say for the interface, then both the Cursor and anti-gravity are same and both have plus 1 point. Now, coming to the understanding, that was also the context. So, in that case, we have seen that Cursor was able to make a very detailed plan for this whole architecture, but anti gravity struggled to make a plan. Also, it created a very shallow plan and it missed some details that were important but were not very obvious. So in that case, Cursor has plus 1 point and anti-gravity has minus 1 point. Coming to the third parameter, that is implementation. So in implementation as well, Cursor basically beat anti-gravity, and we can see here anti-gravity was not even able to like create a plan, let alone the implementation. Again, I know that it will be able to implement the code and all of that. So that is more than enough to understand the current state of anti-gravity. And we try to create a plan for this particular issue. So Cursor was able to create a plan at that is almost 90% correct. And while anti-gravity is not even able to create a plan for the issue that we give it to it. Here Cursor will have plus 1 point and anti-gravity will have minus 1 point. So after this, I don't think so that I'm going to cancel my Cursor plan. I will have to spend $20 a month, at least as of now. Later on, if anti-gravity improves, then who knows? I may be able to switch on it on anti-gravity, but not now. Today's Cursor is the real winner and I'm going to code with Cursor itself. So if you like this video, then please subscribe and take care and bye.